Hey VV Nation, I'm Glenn.
And I'm Ryan. We've got a special event coming next month, May 1st. We're finally hitting the road. Now we will be hosting some live streams. Tell them a little bit about the live streams we'll be doing.
We're gonna have the Stock Analysis Power Hour. Ryan will host that. Bring your stocks, let Ryan break them down for you. I'll also do a live stream called Trending Thursday. That's where we go through, look at what's going on in the market, what's going on in the news, and we analyze stocks. We also have a live presentation for those people who will be attending live as well. What's that, Ryan?
Now, we do have the presentation titled Unlocking the Secrets of Financial Success. Now, to register for free and get the details, just go to VectorVest.com/roadshow.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the channel, VV Nation. My name is Glenn.
My name is Ryan.
And we're going to be your host for the next hour or so for afternoon market action. Just like you saw the first video that just came up, folks, this is going to be big for us. The Roadshow could possibly turn into a lot more of just Charlotte, but you got to support it. We've got some people that have signed up for it so far. We've got a couple of people who've taken advantage of the VIP as well. So Ryan and I will be in Charlotte live on May 1st. We'd love to see you come out. It's going to be both, one, it's going to be live, and it's going to be free.
During the day,
during the day,
during the live streams. But then after the live streams, we're having the VIP experience. We've got the Sommelier. Jarvis is partnering with us to host that. Really nice dinner out at Fahrenheit. We got the Shark Tank? That's going to be a good concept. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm.
So bring your, for those of you who are coming live, make sure or who are a part of the VIP experience, bring your stocks. So it'll be a Shark Tank. You're going to have to pitch us on why you want us to think about buying your stocks. So you better come ready for that. And we will be the sharks. And we'll determine whether or not your stocks that you pick, it's going to be an awesome experience. Mm-hmm. It really is. That VIP experience is going to really be an awesome experience. So support it. If you do, we get a good turnout. It could then set us off to start going on the road to do a road show across the country, no matter where you are. So that's, first and foremost. What's going on in the market?
We need to see the comment section over here.
Oh, yeah. There we go. I have to pitch XROF. Yeah, Mark, you want us to buy it? You got to pitch XROF. But it's only going to be for the VIP experience. Mm-hmm. If you're not going to be there live, you won't be able to take part of the Shark Tank. It's going to be a fun way of us really, truly using the power of the VectorVest software to analyze your stock. So Ryan and I will do that. We'll have some picks that we like that you can take advantage of as well. That's going to only be part of the VIP experience. It's going to be worth it to take the VIP. You're going to get a great dinner. You're going to get an experience to some great wine. One of the best companies out there. So,
have you ever had Jarvis wine?
I have not.
I have tried it.
Okay.
It is phenomenal.
Okay.
It is really good. I had one of their Cabernets, one of their vintages.
And, see, I'm more of a Pinot Noir kind of guy.
Ooh, okay.
Or a Chianti. I'm going to get a glass on the 28th?
Next Wednesday?
Oh, next Wednesday?
Next Monday? On the live stream? Oh, okay, so the Sommelier is actually going to be on your live stream on Monday to talk about the wine.
I might have to still bring you in.
We could do that. I could probably join you on Monday. Because I made a short yesterday about the vineyard.
Right.
They store all of their wine in the caves.
That's awesome.
And they had a waterfall going through the caves. I don't know if you saw the video I did yesterday, but it looked really cool.
Any of your videos?
Probably not.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Hi, Glenn, I'm back. Hey, Alfreda, glad to have you back. All right, with that going on, what do you think is going on in the market? I can give you some breaking news.
I know it's been selling off in the last 30 minutes quite sharply.
You know what's selling off the most?
Tech.
That's right. So, breaking news on CNBC, Dow loses 600 points. NASDAQ falls 3% on big tech drop and tariff fears. And I know that the Fed was talking about the tariffs, and he's unclear still on how it's going to affect what he's going to do in regards to raising, I doubt raising, or cutting interest rates. So
I have a feeling Taiwan Semi reports tomorrow morning. I don't think that's going to lift the semiconductors much.
Nope.
I think it's going to be like ASML, not good news because of the tariffs.
Okay.
No one really focused on the earnings when it came to the headlines. It was about expectations going forward.
Well, we'll see. All right. From this point, let's get into the software. We're already there. Thank you, Joey. I don't know how to do that. Joey does that. I don't know how to freaking do that. All right, as you can see what's going on in the market, a lot of yellow. Yes, it's a down day. All of the major indices are down. But you know something? We just came up off the market starting to run. It looks like it lost some steam. Mm-hmm. Where's the RT on the market? 0.79. Even with the rise, notice that the RT never really shot up to get above 1 to let us know that the market's in an uptrend. We're looking at the buy-to-sell ratio still low. The MTI, 0.57. You know, the buy-to-sell ratio and the MTI is still sitting at the levels and still looking for a bottom again. Go to the market timing graph. I don't want to bring that up yet. Look at the market timing graph. You know, look how high we are coming off of the bottom. All right, are we at a level of looking for a bottom yet? Which tells us, by way of the indicators, we still have more downside in the market.
I find it interesting, yesterday's upper wick.
Use your mouse.
Yesterday's upper wick here, finally penetrating out of that big rally we saw last Wednesday.
Which was a historic day.
Yeah, a historic day, but look, rejection right there, follow through back in the body of this candlestick. You know, me personally, if I'm looking for any kind of confirmation to the up or downside, I mean, obviously to the downside right now, this looks like good rejection, but I want to see some closes to the upside of this body candlestick.
And it looked like a psychological move that the market wasn't able to get above that historic high. Very interesting that the market's looking at this. And you know something, they're not using the VVC, but the VVC is telling the story. No matter what you hear out there, and what have I said on more than one occasion, Ryan? It's not about the news. Trade the charts.
Not your heart.
Not your heart. Let the market come to you. So the good news can come, and the market takes off, and you're like, woo, we got the primary wave up, all of that stuff. But the VVC really focuses in on the real picture of what's going on in the market. And if you're not a subscriber to the VectorVest software, you're missing out on the ability to have this kind of knowledge. Before we get into the news, I wanted to bring this up. The S&P 500 just hit a death cross. The 50-day, which is the green line, went below the 200-day. These are simple moving averages. And the last time that happened was back in 2022.
That's when they had to start raising the interest rates to combat inflation.
And there it is. Where is that?
That's back in COVID. So it's the one after that.
There we go. So it broke down, and there's the breakdown again. Again, that was back in 2022. That's not a good thing for the market. It helps to amplify the idea that I think we've got more downside in the market to go on. All right. So with that being said, hey, I just said that, Glenn. What did you just say, Pioneer? Charts. Trust the chart. It is trade the charts, not your hearts. Way to go, Pioneer. Gotta love that. You're on a weekly graph.
When he was correct.
I know it's on a weekly graph. Does it matter? Let's go end of day. What am I on? Like a
you went back to end of week.
Yeah. Go to 8-year end of day.
No, you're end of week though.
There we go. I don't want to be end of week.
I know, that's why I said
end of day, 8 years.
There you go.
Now I'm end of day, 8 years. There's the death cross.
But yeah, so it's happened twice since COVID. Once during COVID, and the other one when we had to raise interest rates to combat inflation, and now obviously this one being mostly caused by the tariffs and trade escalation.
And the problem with the tariff is, I don't think it's the tariffs. It is the conception that, oh my gosh, this is horrible. I'm not going to say that it's not, but in the background in the news, you keep hearing that more and more countries are trying to come to the table because they don't want it. They don't want it. All right, and there's a lot of uncertainty in it is. So, just wanted to bring that to your attention about the S&P. All right, let's start getting to some news about what's moving the market. Big story today, retail sales increased. Now, it's interesting with everything that's going on. Is the tariffs not keeping up? Is the tariffs a laggard behind retail sales? Yes or no? Do you think so?
Yes, but I think that sale increase was just people stocking up going into the tariffs.
There you go.
I don't think it was a good number. It just shows that people were scared and went to go get more supplies to get ready for the situation.
Did you get supplies? Did you get toilet paper and milk?
No.
Okay.
Toilet paper.
I'm just asking if you got toilet paper and milk.
I don't think we import our milk.
We might.
We might.
we might. And Mark, Ryan just said that people were stocking up. I think we're going to continue to see going forward.
So I see this number decrease as a, because normally I would take this number, oh, that's good.
Right.
But I don't take it as that's good. I take it as people bought a lot of stuff now, get ready for the tariffs. So how are the next couple reports going to be? Are they going to start buying less stuff since they already stocked up?
Listen, I'm going to go out to the boat and get my stuff.
The boat?
Yeah.
What boat?
The big boats with the containers. I'm gonna go get my own stuff. I'll be like, yo, I give you $50. And I get my stuff right there. $50. No tariff. No tariff.
No tariff.
$50. All right. Milk is imported from Wisconsin. It's not another country. Smack this.
Yeah, Wisconsin's tariffing North Carolina.
I don't think that's happening.
I don't think so.
All right, 5 things to know before the stock market opens on Wednesday. I did this earlier. We're just going to go through them real quick. Chip on your shoulder, man. The chip stocks are getting smacked up. All right, no.
3 bad stories this morning, and I have a feeling we're going to get a 4th on TSM tomorrow. Did you hear about AMD story?
But what do you mean with their chips? I know Nvidia and AMD.
So I did the Nvidia one. We'll talk about it in just a moment. But AMD, because of the tariffs, or not the tariffs, the restrictions on China, they're talking about an $800 billion loss because of that.
Oh, you know who was bigger than that?
I know, that's my story.
Which is going to be Nvidia.
Yeah,
Nvidia.
Well, we can skip it, but Nvidia is because that kind of goes in with this. Nvidia came out and said they're going to lose about $5.5 billion to these tariffs here. These are big numbers. And you can see why the stocks are down today. So between bad news, ASML, AMD, and Nvidia, all on the tariffs. Again, semiconductors is not the place to be right now.
I did a story last week where Nvidia was trying to get out like a $1-point-something billion order to China. Hurry up. We'll see how that all works out. All right, so that was number 1. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Amir, let us know what to do. I think tomorrow's night's video, because I wanted to wait for TSM earnings to come out, see what they had to say. I think I will do a semiconductor video tomorrow. Not necessarily, saying buy them, but just giving you, a synopsis of what's going on, how they're going to be affected. And if anything, maybe I'll do is maybe put out some levels, say if certain semiconductors hit certain levels, maybe a little nibble here and there. But again, backing up the truck in any semiconductor,
I don't think I would want to nibble yet.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, all these levels are going to be further down.
Not until the tariffs get more clarity.
Until I see a deal that you just can't ignore.
And what's the deal everybody's waiting for?
Nvidia in the 70s.
No, what else?
That would be a good deal.
What other deal is everybody looking for right now?
Between China and the U.S.?
That's right. That's going to be the news that will catapult this market, bar none.
Yeah.
That deal will catapult this market astronomically. All right, so just putting that out there. All right, export controls. Nvidia facing steep export bill on its H20 GPUs. There you go. Ryan's story talks about this. $5.5 billion charge related to shipping its processors to China and elsewhere.
And I find it interesting because I've seen a couple articles and watched a couple news stories, but they're talking about Chinese chip makers when it comes to what they're producing compared to these older H20 GPUs. According to a lot of these sources, they're really only about 2 to 3 years away from these older chips. So they're catching. I'm not gonna say they're catching up to the new ones, but to some of their older ones.
They're just catching up to the older ones.
Yeah, to the old ones.
And they're gonna sell these chips, and they're gonna sell, and people are gonna buy them, and they're gonna be like, "Oh my goodness, this is crap." And that's how it's gonna go down, because Nvidia is not able to sell the higher end chips. They're only able to sell the lower end chips. And if China's just 2 years away from catching up to the lower end chips, and they're going to it's crazy. All right, price check. The retail sales report, I think that Ryan gave a good synopsis on. The number is good, but in this situation, I'm not feeling that it's really good. I think it is, Ryan's right, that people are stocking up. Come down, United Airlines became the latest company to call out the economic uncertainty. The company said Tuesday it would trim domestic flying by about 4%. When? This summer. And that's when they're going to get
demand. Interesting.
Well, people don't know. They're not going to have the money.
Yeah.
And people already, when the airlines were moving up, and I questioned that over and over and over again, the two people that were keeping the airline stocks and all the vacation stuff up was the boomers, because they had the money, and people were putting it on their credit cards. And now credit card debt is way, way up. And now I don't think people can put more on their credit cards, and that's where the underwhelming demand comes from. Boomers, unfortunately, are slowly but surely dying off, but those are the people that have the money. All right, those are the people that have the money. And what's the fifth thing? Off the lot. Look at this story. The threat of higher vehicle prices due to auto tariffs driving Americans to the car.
That's why I switched and got to a Jeep before the tariffs enacted. Because I had a feeling used car prices in particular would go up. So that's why I made that switch, a couple months ago when I got the Jeep.
My neighbor's car
nice.
is getting all jacked up, and she says to me, so where do you go to find a good used car? Go build one. It's probably cheaper for you to build one than to go buy one right now. But the result is dwindling inventories of new and used vehicles. The industry's day supply of new vehicles dropped from 91 days at the beginning of March to 70 days. That's all of the inventory they have.
Yeah.
All right. So that was 5 things to look at coming into today. Trump tariffs, live updates. China, look at this. China signals readiness for talks if the U.S. shows respect. RESPECT, what can you do for Z? RESPECT, you better be nice to me. Suck to me, suck it to me, suck it to me. That's what we're at right now. You didn't even smile.
Better put some respect on my name.
You got nothing going on. So that's just interesting. Again, everybody's waiting. Everybody's waiting for a deal to be done with the U.S. and China. I am thinking that based upon what's going on in their economy.
Troy mentioned in the comment section news that China has a new negotiator. Did you see that?
No.
Is that something new? Okay.
Who is he?
I have no idea.
Okay. Who's the old negotiator?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Either.
All right. John says, sing it, Ryan. Sing it.
No.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm not a singer.
In the story, there was some other things that I liked. Where is it? The semiconductor ASML spooked investors on Wednesday, reporting weaker than expected orders. Also, Nvidia is in the story.
See, they don't even mention did they beat earnings?
Who? And
ASML?
I don't think so. They missed.
But that's what I said last week on the live. I said it doesn't matter about earnings because they don't. I haven't even. You scroll down the article. I haven't even seen anything about the earnings. Okay. It's about tariffs. It's about uncertainty. I have a feeling we're going to get the same from TSM tomorrow, so I'm going to be bearish on the semis. I would not be surprised, majority of the semis gap down tomorrow.
Somebody says sing Sugar Hellgate.
Unless there's, some kind of news that, some deal is breaking out with China.
That's going to be the catalyst that moves this market higher.
China now faces 245%.
I saw that, but that's just a story. I haven't been able to confirm that 245% tariff.
The numbers on these tariffs, they differ from article to article. It's hard to...
China, in my mind, is going to blink. They're going to have to. Or they're going to try to do reciprocity by tanking the bonds.
Well, I did see
taking them off the table.
China, I think it was their GDP. They had a bunch of economic data come out over the last 24 hours, and it was all very positive. And that's, according to the article, they said...
According to the article?
Well, according to the article, they said that's one of the reasons why, I guess, gold jumped up today, was this Chinese economic data.
Yeah, okay. I'm not listening to them anymore.
But, China has, I've said it before, China has one ace up their sleeve, and that's rare earth and critical minerals.
Well, we're going to talk about that. Silver play, Avino delivers strong Q1 2025, announces the date for the earnings call. What was the date of the earnings call? I don't remember. April 16th? No, that's not the date. Look at that. Achieved strong first quarter 2025 production of 678,458 silver equivalent ounces. That's why the stock is killing it right now. I don't know when the date is for copper production increase. Look at that. Commodities. Amir, you want to know what's moving? Gold, commodities, And something else we'll talk about, silver production.
Maybe that's why I should do a video on soon is silver.
Well, it goes with gold.
It does go with gold, but silver just seems really undervalued and unappreciated compared to gold.
Because it's not expensive. Who cares? All right. This is Ryan's first story. A lot of my stories in the beginning were market news. Nvidia says it will record a $5.5 billion charge to its H20 processors exported to China.
Nothing good when it comes to semiconductors in China. I know we talked about it, but yeah. So, I mean, $5.5 billion.
Look at that.
That hits the bottom dollar.
You see that?
There is talk China may devalue their currency to offset tariff. So we talked about this in that video I showed you,
right?
With the bond market and the treasuries and stuff. It was a very interesting concept because it said it was kind of like how we cornered the UK's British pound. I think that was in the 90s.
Well,
or 80s.
Because they were the reserve currency. Mm-hmm. We took them away, and they say that being the reserve currency lasts in a cycle of about 100 years. Okay. I think we've been over 100 years for us being the reserve currency. At some point in time,
when did we become reserve? Like World War II, World War I?
I got to look it up.
So almost 100 years, if anything.
At that cycle.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
All right. So there we go. There's not much more to talk about this story. It's bad.
No, yeah,
it is bad. Palantir enters the defense spotlight with NATO-pact. Analyst sees big upside. Everybody knows I'm still in Palantir. I don't know how many of you saw the video last night of the defense stocks. Palantir is in that list. If you remind me, I'll show you. We created a portfolio on the fly in that video last night. If you remind me, we'll go take a look at that portfolio. Glenn, what's your opinion on going long-term investment and possibility could dip? Stock is profitable and possibly gap. Probably should I wait for more bottom with tariffs? Strawberry cookie, I think play the market. Look at what the market's giving you. Look at the VVC. Short term, I think we got more downside. I honestly think until a deal is struck with China, we're going to have downside for a little longer than short term. You saw the market timing graph. You saw the death cross on the S&P.
And if there's an escalation, obviously that could ample up that downward momentum.
Bigly. So I don't know how much more expansion to this we're going to get. 245% is a lot. China's.
But now it's about the non-traditional tariffs, right? Like restricting chip technology to China is a non-traditional tariff. There is no tax. You can't have this.
Right, just like they're doing to us with the rare
earths that they started recently. So what happens if that starts to expand to other industries?
What else they got that we want?
We'll find out when they use it to negotiate. We'll find out.
All right, let's go to the next story. Why? I'm not going to even read it. Go ahead. What's the story? What's the story? I'm not even going to read it.
I thought this was interesting. Why Bitcoin is trading like Mag 8 and not digital gold.
And the reason why I didn't want to read it is because you talked about Bitcoin becoming a part of Mag 7. You did.
Well, yeah, because it's tech and it was in $1 trillion market cap.
Okay.
And it's kind of been moving along with them. It's I don't know I have to see what the price is right now, but it's volatility. I mean, Nvidia has had a bigger drop from its most recent high, percentage-wise, than Bitcoin has. It's holding its ground. I'm not going to say anything bad about it, but I think...
You're not going to call it crypto?
I'm not going to call it crypto.
Okay.
Yeah, and honestly, my biggest ponder is if the U.S. does go through the cycle where we're no longer the reserve currency, where does that leave Bitcoin? Does it go up? Does it go down? Does it stay stagnant? And that's compared to the dollar, not the other fiat currencies. But me personally, I think it's going to be treated like a tech stock. I've said it before. I think we've mentioned it before, where it kind of moves in tandem with the semis. Not a direct correlation, but pretty core. Yeah, 84,000 was at 108. So for math, we'll just say 108 to 84. It was about 25%. Nvidia went from 150 to like $80 or $88. That's a lot bigger. That's more volatility than Bitcoin. I mean, the other cryptos, other than Ethereum, I'm not too concerned about them. But Bitcoin, I find very interesting. But until we see uncertainty wear off in the Mag 7 Look, I like how they called it the Mag 8.
I saw that, yeah.
And semiconductors showing more optimism because of the uncertainty right now. Until I see those segments, I'm not going to be too bullish about it. I'm going to treat it like a tech company, honestly.
All right.
And that's just how I feel about Bitcoin right now.
Great statement. The Bretton Woods Conference in 1944 established a new international monetary system aimed at preventing the economic instability and instability that plagued the interwar period. Todd and I talk a little bit about the Bretton Woods Accords.
Tabula.
And let me answer.
And Bitcoin is definitely not gold.
Where is Akshay? Akshay has stated. Has anybody ever heard me say that I hated Jerome Powell? I've never said that.
And think about it. We've been in a risk-off environment. No one's thinking, oh, I should jump into Bitcoin in a risk-off environment. That doesn't even make sense.
I agree with that.
So until we get into the notion of, hey, we're getting back into a risk-on environment, and you see, tech, semis, things of that nature, AI, quantum start to come back, then yeah, you'll probably see Bitcoin come back.
And something, I'm not going to say that I won't take advantage of the opportunities to make money with Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. I'm just not a big fan of Bitcoin.
No, I get it.
But I've never said, Akshay, once that I hate Jerome Powell. I think he's doing the job that he's supposed to do. I don't always agree with everything he says, but that doesn't mean that I hate them.
Did he give a speech today?
He was talking today, and
at 2?
I think he was talking more about the uncertainty with the tariffs, not being able to put in place policy because he's not sure of what's going on. So he's talking, I think, in Chicago or something like that. But I've never said, I've never said that I hated Powell. Never. I don't hate anybody. Not in the least bit. So
you just told me you hated Joey. That was right before we got here.
But he's not famous or anything. So he's not in control of my monetary policy. So that's a little different. All right, that's a little different.
You're decentralized?
Yeah, exactly. So Akshay, I don't know where you got that notion from, but
has Doge gone to Fort Knox yet?
Here we go.
Imagine if the gold is gone in Fort Knox.
Listen,
the gold prices will skyrocket.
So now, talking about that, Trump is talking about
10,000 gold.
Listen to this.
If that happens.
Trump is talking about
who knows
a bond backed by gold. A bond backed by gold.
Okay.
So I'm gonna look into that a little bit more. Definitely gonna look into that a little bit more. But if that's the case, and people buy it up,
yeah,
gold's gonna go up. So,
yeah.
So Todd and I were talking about that this morning. I never got into looking at a story on it. I might do a short on it. I might actually do another short tomorrow. I don't do the shorts. You do.
You can do a short tomorrow.
I might do.
I got strategy of the week anyways.
I might do a short on it. I want to look into that. A gold-backed bond. All right. So we'll see. Rubenville says, spoiler, it's gone.
Well, it's funny you talk about gold-backed bonds because I think I mentioned it a couple of live streams ago where they've got gold-backed cryptos now.
Gold is going to be backing up everything and ain't going to be there.
I just feel like, if I'm going to buy gold, for emergency or worst case, I'd rather have the physical gold than an ETF on my Webull account that says I've got some gold.
Do you know Weebulls wobble, but they don't fall down? Okay.
I did see. Did you see Webull? You were off Monday, but did you see that jump on the Webull IPO?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Nobody cares. Talking about brokers, do you know that we actually, in the Jockey Club and a lot of our other coaching sessions, we trade through TradeStation. So we never push that, but we need to talk a little bit about that. If you're looking for a broker.
And you can link it in the Vector. I need to actually maybe open up a TradeStation account.
So we do trade through TradeStation.
Joey, do you have the link for TradeStation? Because we do have a special offer. I think it's if you put in $500, you get 50.
All right, we gotta find the link.
We gotta find the link. We'll try to put it in there. But
you look at stuff like Webull and Robinhood. But for those of you who may have a little bit more money that you're investing, maybe you think about considering TradeStation. We use it for our real money in the VectorVest software. Maybe you might want to consider that as well. And there is some sort of spiff you can get depending on how much money you invest with them. So through us, from a VectorVest perspective, so something to keep in mind. Two stories here. Antimony, corporate secures $5 million line of credit. Now, that's an older story, but antimony, Ryan did a great video, great video on antimony up 300%. 300%. Marvin says, I asked TradeStation for a demo app. They couldn't show me it. I don't know. There you go. Thank you, Joey. There's a TradeStation promo. I don't know about a demo app. Mark Norton, Robinhood. Joey, who does Joey use? That's all that matters. I have a Robinhood account, and my main.
Is that where you have all your cryptos? Is on your Robinhood account?
Yeah, I got a crypto in there.
What crypto do you own?
I got a freaking crypto in there. I got Dogecoin.
Dogecoin?
I do. I'm going to hold
No wonder you think crypto's crap.
Crypto is crap. Yep.
You own Doge.
So antimony got money. Antimony's on the rise. And then put that into another stock that I got into today.
I don't see these stocks stopping.
I got into USAR today. It was up 30%. I caught about a third of the move. I'm up 10% today. I like them both because Ryan has brought to the table the idea that this is going to hurt us a lot. So we got two companies. And I did find a company in Canada. I think it's DEFN. It's a 71-cent stock. 71-cent stock. I don't think it's cross-listed on the U.S. database.
I know in the Australian market as well, there's quite a few rare earths. There's a video I did back, I think it was November, where I had all the markets, a couple stocks in each market. You can check that out. But yeah, if you live in Australia, definitely consider rare earth minerals as well, because I imagine
Taboola,
the United States is going to want them.
Taboola, you didn't give me USAR. It actually stemmed from Ryan's story looking at antimony. I came across USAR. He didn't get it from you.
Someone gave me USAR, and it might have been Tabula. It was
okay,
on Monday.
So then you gave it to him.
Yeah, it was on Monday when I covered it for you in the stream.
But during the idea of looking at UAMY, in my research, USAR came up. Right?
NB, I think that's on the watch list, Troy, in the video.
Okay. So MB, I'm going to look at that. Write that down. Joey, can you put that in one of my chats somewhere?
It's in the watch list.
Which watch list?
Of the Rare Earth video.
You made a watch list?
Yeah, on Monday's video.
You did?
Yeah. I thought you watched it.
MB, I didn't watch it. Didn't I tell you I didn't watch it?
I don't know.
That's not where I got the idea from UAMY.
Tabula says don't deny me.
Tell him, because I didn't get it from you. All right, and I'm going to put, so antimony and USAR, I like them both, along with gold.
Tabula, yes, you deserve flowers for that one. That was a good call, by the way.
You don't send me flowers anymore. All right, so I like them both. Amir is asking what to do. Gold, Ryan and I both believe in gold right now. And the rare earth metals, I think we both believe in that. And I owe Ryan the flowers for bringing that more so to my attention than anything else. Ryan did it. It wasn't you, Tabula. It wasn't you. All right. Next story. There it is.
So I thought this was interesting. After surge to record highs, gold overtakes the Mag 7, not 8, just as a disclaimer, as the most crowded trade on Wall Street. So I thought this was very interesting here because, and I won't even scroll down, but the Mag 7 kept going up and going up and going up, and no one complained while it was working. And that's how I feel about gold. Just let it work.
That's
Once
true.
it stops working, just, hey, that's why you have a stop. You get out of it, you move on. And honestly, when gold stops working is probably when the tech will come back, if I had to guess.
So you know,
or it won't be too far apart.
And you know, Ryan and I think, do a great job on keeping you on top of what's hot. Type of one in the room if you think Ryan and I keep you on top of what's hot. Type of one in the room. We got one more story. Boeing stock falling, and this is big. China suspends jet deliveries, report says.
So is that a tariff, or is that something different than a tariff?
It's a tariff. They're saying we ordered these planes, but right now we don't want them. Pretty much that's what they're saying. Boeing stock fell. Chinese airlines have been told not to accept any more Boeing deliveries and asked that carriers not buy any further aircraft-related gear from the U.S.
So where are they going?
Who are they going to get it? They're going to get it from? Who else? I mean, this
Airbus.
That's here. Isn't that here?
That's Europe.
All right, maybe then you got to go to Airbus.
Or can they make their own planes? I don't know.
Sure they can.
I'm sure China could figure out how to make a plane. If they wanted to. I don't know
would
if
you
it's the safest
Would you fly in it?
Probably not the first couple models. Okay, let them test it out.
All right, so those are all of the news stories that are driving the market. Let's get back into the software. All right, and let's go to the viewers tab. How many likes? 39 likes. You know, they only getting 4 stocks today. One of them is going to be HIMX. I did see that stock.
It was a semiconductor, wasn't it? Airbus is France. Okay, that's what it is. France.
All right, so maybe they got to go. But you know something? France is going to go, no, we do not want to produce the planes for you. It may be a lot of money, but we don't like you right now. So poo-poo on you.
Well, I don't know. Because if we're putting tariffs on France, France might just give us the bird and say, hey, we'll give those planes to China. Okay. We want that money.
But are they going to be able to keep up with demand?
That's the problem when you start a trade war with China and your allies at the same time.
I agree with you.
You probably should have went for China first and figured out.
John says China sells planes on Temu. That's funny.
Spin the wheel for a fighter jet.
That is
35% off.
So Amir and anybody out there, you want to know what's moving? I'm going to add 2 more stocks to this. I'm going to add USAR, and UAMY. Hot industries.
UAMY is already there.
Was?
Yep.
There's you. All right, there's 11 stocks in here. I wanted to scroll over because this is current hot industry.
Look at that. Corn, soy,
commodities, gold, silver, natural resources.
I'm not surprised by this because that obviously the rumor is, or who knows what will happen. But right now there's going to be probably a battle for the reserve currency status.
I don't think we get knocked off.
Who's going to win? But I think in the end, commodities are going to win.
Because people need, and there's a couple on here, corn and soybean, commodities. Mm-hmm. I'm also probably looking at wood. Commodities are things that everybody needs. Embraer, where's Embraer, Eugene? That's another one. That's ERJ. I don't know where they are. But there's other countries that China can get their planes from. I just don't think that outside of Boeing, who else is going to keep up?
Coffee has been soaring like crazy, coffee, and cocoa as well.
I don't have a coffee.
Because I was going to do a cocoa video, but I couldn't really find too many good cocoa stocks.
I don't have a coffee ETF. I need a coffee ETF. Somebody find me a coffee ETF. I wouldn't mind putting that in there. But notice on a day like today, all of these.
Oh, Brazil is Embraer.
Okay, so then maybe Brazil will go, we will sell you the planes.
Airbus doesn't have the capacity all by itself.
I'm thinking that. I don't think, if you go outside of Boeing, I don't know who else is going to have the capacity to fulfill the desires, the needs of.
Now imagine Chinese planes is probably a pretty good sized portion of Boeing's business as far as demand for new airliners.
Well, then that's going to hurt them a lot. They're making their own plane, Comac.
Who, China's making their own plane called Comac?
What about PM and you? Hold on,
Declan. I think all commodities.
I got several. I think this is enough to get you started. There's probably a lot more that can go up here. All right, but right now, whether you like them or not, Boeing has built a heck of a lot.
Heck of a moat?
Heck of around them? Joe?
Like isolating themselves?
Joe? Let's go take a look at that. Joe? No, I ain't got Joe. Cafe? CAF.
Putting in all the...
I ain't got that one either. I need a coffee ETF that I got. And Mr. Shree says Joe. Yeah, both of them the same thing. Rickman says the same thing.
Maybe that's what it was. We didn't have it in the system.
Maybe we got to get them added. Got to talk to Angie about that. Joe.
It's not in there.
It really is not. And Cafe.
Java. Try Java. Java sounds about right.
Java. I would put that in this list. Java. What is that?
Active value.
What the flying flip is that?
Right click on it.
I know what to do. I've been
just
working.
Just a little trick. If you don't know what a stock is, or more commonly a ETF, you can always go to the stock analysis report. as Glenn is doing.
The fund.
Long-term capital.
I don't know. Nah, we got to find. That's not it.
And it's not going up either.
Yeah, I got to find out. Joey, remind me to talk to Angie about finding. I got to find. Remind me to find a coffee ETF. All right.
Yeah, you got it. He's setting the alarm right now.
All right. So again, on a day like today, these are the stocks. Now, keep in mind, this was up 30%. It's pulling back a lot. View the stock graph.
You know what will kill these rare earth stocks?
Look at that. Look at the big wick. Look at the big wick.
If the U.S. and China come to a deal on rare earth stocks or whatever, just be careful of that. That will be my thing to say.
All right. So stocks to keep your eyes on, the hottest industries that are out here, I think is sorted right here.
DFIN. There you go. Is it up today, defense? I don't think so.
Let's go look at the portfolio. Nobody reminded me. Portfolios.
I'm telling you, China is making their own plane. They are ready. I am in aerospace. That's kind of what I figured. I mean, China's advanced enough to make their own plane. They got satellites, ICBMs, hypersonic missiles they're trying to develop. So an airplane shouldn't be hard for them.
Here we go. Here's the portfolio. The video I did last night, down 1.5%. What's moving up at all? Where's the ROI? Look at that. Bucks is up and AVAV, the only two that are up in the list.
AVAV, is that the drone company?
Yep, there's three of them here. AVAV, Katos, and ESLT. 3 drone companies in here. There's DEFN, down 3% since yesterday. Rocket Labs is another one that I really, really like, as well as Palantir. But we'll keep our eyes on it. This was the video I did last night. It's down. Wow, big move to the downside today. Down over 1.72%. All right, let's go back to the viewers. Let's go look at the market indices.
Oh, we were supposed to make the landing gear for the Chinese plane, but Trump shot it down in the first term. Interesting.
Oh. All of the major indices are down. Look at that. VIX is back up. But everything, 10%. The biggest mover to the downside, tech stocks, Qs. All right, let's go look at our picks. Let's go to Glenn's picks last week. See what I had. Amazon tech, freaking tech. Defense.
Can't wait
tech,
to see that. I'm sure I wasn't much different.
I did hedge this.
Because I think last week was the rally, so we bought a little tech. Well, I bought gold, silver, and then the triple leverage SOXS. No, XOXL.
Let's go see what these did over the past week.
Your SOXS should have done well.
It should have helped me a lot.
There you go. That did help you. That saved you.
1.5% down, but SOXS.
You went right along with the market.
I did. And all the other stocks.
Look at MagX. Is MagX the yield?
No. That's the trade to Mag 7.
Okay, that's just Mag 7. Gotcha.
All right. That's the ETF. That's one of them. Mm-hmm. All right.
Oh, it's the double leverage. That's what it is.
Let's go look at my picks for this week. We'll see. And I did the same thing again. I got SOXL because SOXS because ASML is in here, Nvidia is in here, Palantir is in here. But I am starting to keep my eye, talking about commodities, I'm keeping my eye on oil. That's one in my list today. Boeing, even though China said no to their planes, still up a little bit today. Mm-hmm. Gold, I got 2 gold stocks, DRD and ASM, both nicely up today. There's UAMY, there's USAR, both nicely up today. So those are the stocks that made my news today. Let's go to Ryan's picks last week. So I was down over 1%.
What did I have here? Oh, okay, maybe not too bad.
You may not be too bad.
It may not be that bad.
You got some...
I got ARM. That probably hurt me.
All right, 4.9. Let's quick test. I think you're going to be positive, though. Yes, 2.5%.
Oh, even with SOXL down 31%.
That's nice move on gold. Gold is it.
So I remember I threw in SOXL because the big tech rally, that was during our live stream. We're like, ah.
So, Amir, you're looking at what's moving right here. It's really gold. I think the big news out there is
Walmart. Defensive, Costco's in the list. Yeah, defensive plays. Consumer, weak consumer plays. Costco, the Walmarts, the Dollar Generals, the gold, the commodities. That's what's working. Not tech. Not tech.
It ain't tech.
Not semis.
Right, let's go to your picks.
Not an AI, not a quantum.
Let's go to your picks today.
I know it's not as exciting.
Still gold. You got Nvidia, that was news.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bitcoin. I put those two. You only put in BTC, I put in IBIT for you. All right. Anything you want to say about any of these?
Gold. That's all you need to say.
I'm going to give you a high five on that.
Nvidia was just a news story, and it wasn't a good news story. So that would be I would be shorting Nvidia. And Bitcoin, I'm not advocating it. I just wanted to relate it to the big tech and to the Mag 7 companies, because it is kind of moving in tandem with those companies. It's not being seen as a risk-off asset. So until I get warm and fuzzy about semiconductors again, I'd imagine Bitcoin's probably going to be in that same time period, and that's not now.
Okay. Ali says, I'm telling you, China is making their own planes. All right, that's fine. I'm not flying it. I'm not flying it.
Get ready for, no, not talking about war.
All right. What else am I going to say? Oh.
1 kilogram of gold to hit $100,000. At some point, not right now.
Look at this. Weekly theme stocks. Gold.
They're
all up
We got some Nugget.
I put Nugget in there.
Nice, double leverage. Nugget's a good one, especially if you're trying to swing trade.
And that's for the miners. I got them both. All right, all right. Portfolio review. No, we already looked at that, right? Did we not look at the portfolios?
What's portfolio review? Oh, let's go to our portfolios and we'll check out their stocks.
That's the defense stocks. 2025 AMA Ryan.
Okay, actually doing better. I was down 9% last week.
Yeah, that makes you feel better? Being down 8.5%? I'm just asking for a friend. Joey wants to know. Does that make you feel better?
I closed out of my gold trades. Would I hit my targets?
Most likely you did. Go ahead.
What is it? Oh, no. Report.
I should have just done it. You're going to click on the wrong one again.
This one?
No!
You traded?
Yes. Sort by close. Yep. They did.
Yeah.
Nice moves on both of them.
16 and 15%.
You're still down 8.5%. But nice moves on both of them.
Still.
I'm just saying to myself. What about KGC? KGC is a good one. Mm-hmm. I don't think you're going to find a bad gold pick.
I do like Ken Ross.
Please let me know. Should we just move to cash, take losses? You got to make that decision to me. Amir, how long have you been here? All right? How long have you been here? If I sit here and say, hey, Amir, go to cash, I can't do that. You know why? Why can't I do that, Ryan?
You are not licensed through FINRA.
Okay, I'm just putting that out there.
This is entertainment.
Okay, I'm just putting that out there. Where's mine? I'm down 4.63. I still owe TSM. Still hasn't hit my stop.
What's your stop on it?
Probably 10% trail. Yep, 10% trail. TSM hasn't gone down 10% from the high. I just got back from the gym, up 11% on the SPY diagonals from yesterday. Way to go, way to go, way to go! All right, let's go to the viewers tab. What we got, 54 likes? That's fine, I'll give them 6 stocks today. I don't care how many more we get. Give them
6 stocks!
That's all they get. Before that, I did the Tariff Teflon stocks, right? How many of y'all saw that video? I'm going to go back.
How long ago did you do that? That was a little while, like a couple weeks, month ago?
No, it wasn't a couple of weeks, probably last week.
Right? Oh, was that?
I want to see what these have done just over the past week. Quick test them all. How about that?
They're holding their own.
Teflon 8. That's the Teflon 8. All right. Let's go find their customer picks this week. First stock I want to put, it was HIMX. Okay. Read off, I need what?
We got KSCP.
Excuse me. Okay.
TIGO.
Okay.
SAND.
Okay.
United Health, UNH.
Is that enough? Does that cover what they're supposed to get today?
What is it, 6?
Yep.
Then we need PAAS.
Silver.
There we go. Oh, you're not.
Who did that? That was Joey's fault.
Definitely Joey's fault.
All right, there we go. Again, the rules are for every 10 likes, you get a stock. For every 10 likes, we get a stock. All right? I just went to make coffee. Tabula says, is it time for stocks? Yep.
It's time.
And we got the stocks up there. We got 58 likes. We gave you 6 stocks.
I do like that all of them are in positive territory except the HIMX.
I want to look at where they all are as far as, 2 of them are sells. Be careful with that, right?
Again, that semiconductor, because I'm pretty sure in the comment section you said it was a semi. Be careful with semis. Whatever you think that dip's going to be, I'll put it like this.
Semiconductor.
When you're bottom fishing, typically you find, nice price action that you'd want to buy it at, right? Think about where your stop would be. I'd aim to put your order entries where your stops would be when you're bottom fishing. Give it a little bit more leeway to the down room than you're thinking.
All right. I'm with that.
If you're going to do it. I'm not going to advocate it, but if you're going to do it,
Let's take a look at them. Sand, I do see that it's overvalued. Oh, I got the wrong graph. Graph layouts, where is it? Should be VectorVest.
I think you need more graph layouts, Glenn. I could use like 3 more.
Sigh. There it is, VectorVest graph, YIT. So it's the VectorVest graph that has the price, stop price, and RT. I added 2 things to this graph, value and volume. Sand is moving up on good volume. Mm-hmm. Look at that. New 3-month high. All right, watch today, a little bit of a pullback today, but I wouldn't panic if you're in it. If you're in it, leave it alone. Anything you want to add to that?
A lot of the gold and silver gapped up today, giving some of those gains. I'd look at the stocks that showed momentum. See which ones had a nice body on it today. But I do like it. I would look for that retest where that trend line is. That top. I'd probably look for a retest there.
Okay. Next one. Undervalued, but a lot of gold and silver stocks are. Same kind of scenario, right?
It's funny you say that. Well, tonight's video is gold.
Okay.
And I was noticing, because before I was looking at gold stocks, it was really hard to find an overvalued gold stock. But now with gold stocks on the move, now they are easier to find. So some of them are becoming overvalued. Personally, I'd get into the undervalued ones just because there's so much momentum in it. But you can see here, the last stock was silver. I would prefer an undervalued one, and it just hit a new high. But
good question. What happens if gold drops suddenly?
Stick to your stop. Stick to the plan.
There you go.
And if you bought gold without having an exit plan, that is on you.
And Ali says, "Don't get out. It's temporary." I'm not going to tell anybody that. Something, I don't care how good a stock, whether it's antimony, whether it's Palantir, whatever it is, I'm not telling you never to put a stop on something. That's just, even if it's temporary, Ali, even if it's temporary, I'm not going to tell anybody out there not to put stops on. So what am I looking at? Trade the chart. What's this stock doing? It's going up. Mm-hmm. It's in an uptrend. What more do you need? Now, Amir, if this stock were to tend to go against you, it's going to break through that uptrend. That's when you consider taking half off the table.
Yeah, if you're a short-term trader, stick to a trend line. If you want to give a little bit more wiggle room, maybe like a 20-day EMA, something to help capture profits.
But every stock's graph is going to give you an opportunity to take profits. Every stock. All right? So just keep that in mind.
Amir, it's not crazy. Even my mom's having that issue of her life savings going down. Even though I told her to go to cash, or not go to cash, but build up cash back in February. But that's the importance of having stops. That's the importance of the VectorVest software and the VectorVest community. Staying on top of the market. Amir, tell your parents to come check out the channel. Learn. Because these are people's life savings. It is definitely worth learning about how the market works. Use VectorVest. Exactly, Pedro.
Look at what Gopal is saying. And look at this. This is a 1-year graph on the gold shares. It does come down.
It does come down.
It does come down. I'm going to put it on a 5-year graph. Wow. I mean, Gopal's got a point. Gold has been on the rise.
Well, from here, it was in a long downtrend.
It was.
And then since.
So it doesn't always go up, Gopal. There's times to be in gold and there's times not to be in gold. All right? All I'm saying. I wanted to bring that to the attention because, he says it always goes up. It doesn't always go up. But, man, when it does go up, it gives people a great opportunity to make money.
I mean, the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest catalyst for gold moving and the potential of it going higher It's just the uncertainty of fiat currencies. You know, and you've got the China-U.S. trade thing going on. You've got the debt problem that even like Jay Dalio, big heads of CEO of companies are saying, hey, this debt is getting out of control. Other countries worried about our debt. Other countries building up their own gold reserves just in case something happens to the dollar. So as long as there's uncertainty in the fiat currency and more in particular the dollar, I do see room for gold to go higher.
I still think that there's a direct correlation between the dollar and gold. I'm going to bring up gold. Bring up the dollar. Look at the fall of the dollar. All right, I want to put this on, what is this on?
5 year.
5 year graph. Why can't I find it? There we go. 5 year graph. Look at the ups and downs on the dollar compared to the move of gold. Gold has got a more steady upward movement where the dollar's back and forth, a little bit more volatile, a lot more volatile than gold itself. So I'm bringing this up because Gopal talked about the move of gold. There it is. You're seeing it on the screen. It's not my input now or Ryan's input. You're seeing it side by side. But the dollar's been a lot more volatile, where gold has been a lot more stable and definitely moving higher. We're on a 5 year high right now on gold. A 5 year high. Now, I know we're looking at weekly. It is what it is. But a 5 year high on gold.
So say manage the trade at this point.
Yep. All right, let's go back to your stocks. UNH, I like uptrend. I would probably, right now, I'd probably put a trend line, a support level right here, or leave my support level right here. UNH is undervalued. RT is still above 1. I don't like the fall in volume. Anything else you want to add to it?
No, I just noticed that falling volume. Good catch. That would be my concern right here. Because it broke out of that chart formation there, the ascending triangle, and you can see as soon as it broke out, that's when volume tapered off. So that's not showing me conviction right now.
U.S. Secretary Treasury says U.S. is ready to get Iran's energy exports to zero.
That's going to push oil much higher.
Yep.
I did a video on that a couple weeks ago, how the U.S. is cracking down, and not just Iran, but Venezuela and Russia, because they were getting creative, but they're, the U.S. Treasury Department.
Trying to get around.
Yeah, it was cracking down on some of the oil shipments. And those countries put a lot of oil in the markets, right?
Yep.
So if we cut that oil off going into the global markets, that's going to put a lot of pressure on price.
And that's why it's on my radar, something to keep your eyes on. Don't put stops on solid companies.
And if talks don't go well with Iran, I can imagine any kind of turmoil in the Middle East will also cause oil to go even higher.
Yep, that's why I'm watching it. I'm definitely watching. Gush is my play. Don't put stops on solid companies. Is there anybody, I'm curious to know, how many of you use stops, type of 1? How many of you do not use stops, type of 2?
Ooh, this is an interesting take.
How many of you use stops, type of 1? If you do not use stops, type of 2. I've learned from Dr. Delito, bless his soul, no matter how good a stock is, folks, anything can happen. Anything can happen. All right, so, for the ones that are out there, no stops on Palantir. Hey, why do y'all keep going back to that? I told you why I don't have stocks on Palantir. It's not willy-nilly. There's a reason why I don't have stops on Palantir. Y'all keep throwing that up in my face. There's a reason why I don't have stops on Palantir. How can we set a stop? Teach us, please. One good stop to use is a trailing stop. It allows your runners to run. The trail will kick in from the highest point the stock has hit since you owned it. It allows that runner to just run. And then once it pulls back 10%, you take your profit. Why Palantir is crashing today? I don't know.
General tech sell-off.
And it's part of the tech, it's part of defense. That's all. I'm with Ryan. That's all I got.
I wonder if the market's still selling off. So we talked about United Health.
That's true, Mark. They do not stop you from gaps. I got nothing to stop you from a gap.
No, they don't. They will not stop you from a gap.
I got nothing to stop you from gaps. Tigo.
Here we got telecom company. I like telecom. I did that 6G video. T-Mobile has been a pretty good one lately. If you're in it, see what happens at this high. We're approaching it now. If you get some rejection here, let me just use a horizontal.
It's very close to it.
We're getting that upper wick right now, so just be careful there.
On good volume, and it's undervalued, and value is rising. I would love to see it break out above that.
Yeah, if it breaks out, that could actually be a really good play here. And it's tech, but it's a telecom company, so not.
And guess what?
As risky.
If you gave it to us, you're already in it. Trade the trend. I'm not mad at you for being in it. It's moving up. RT is moving up on good volume. I'm not mad at you for being in it. I think this is setting up to blast off like a son of a boogalashima. All right? It's setting up to do that.
But just in case it doesn't, use the trend line.
Why no stop on Palantir? I made over 200% on the stock. With that being said, I'm playing with the house's money. I've already taken a net profit. That's the only reason why I don't have a stop on Palantir. All right?
David says, hope the market drops another 60%.
I'm just sitting back, and I've answered that question on more than one occasion. I have stops on every stock I own with the exception of Palantir for that reason. Only for that reason. I believe in Palantir long term. This allows me to stay in the stock long term without having to worry about giving back profit.
And essentially you didn't pay for it. The market did.
Exactly. That's why I don't have stops. Michael says, Glenn, I never have used them, but maybe I should, like on Pfizer, but revs and earnings beat on Feb 4, which also raise outlooks, then CNBC talking tariffs on drugs to drop, which is oversold. You know something? Everybody knows that I love Apple. I'm not in love with Apple, so hush up, Taboola. I'm not in love with that. I like a lot of stocks, but I have stops on all those stocks. Mm-hmm. Why? Because sometimes even good stocks, news drives them down. I got to have a stock. What if Palantir turns into a price chart of DEC?
Pretty much what happens if it sells off. It sells off.
I made my money. Sigh. I don't know why you guys can't get that.
MX. This is the semiconductor company here. Again, no optimism. The low. Yep. You can see the trend line right there. I wouldn't get too optimistic until I see those candlesticks on the other side of that downward trend line.
I agree.
The RT, I mean, it's very suppressed. Yeah, RT's at 0.24.
Let the stock come to you.
Mm-hmm.
Let the stock come to you. It is undervalued. Value is rising. That's great. But what's price action showing me? Nothing.
Wait.
When are you going to make a video about risk management?
Ooh, that's a good idea.
You want to do it?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
All right.
But yeah, risk management video.
That may not be a bad video. Ali G says he used it in the past and learned his lesson. You know something? I've been with VectorVest now for 21 years. Stops have saved my bacon a lot more than not.
This is an interesting chart here. The stock.
How did you just get off of that and then just go straight into that?
Well, because this actually looks like a really good chart pattern.
Okay.
You can see it broke its downward trend line. You don't have to draw it, but a clear downtrend up over it. Let's see. Let's go to 1 year. See what we got here. So the stock way overvalued in its entirety over the last 12 months. Finally coming down to our valuation, but once it reached our valuation, look, we got a jump in the valuation. Some kind of forecasted data came in the mix here. But now price action. What is this low here? This stock was, let's see, the low, 245.
It's almost 490. 490 would double it.
And we value it at 695. So this is aerospace defense. This is a company. This is, if I'm thinking about bottom fishing, this is the type of scenario I'm looking at. It's broke its downward trend line. The value just had a big jump. Momentum's to the upside. If you're looking for confirmation, take out today's upper wick. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. And then as far as any kind of resistance here,
and it's in the aerospace and defense space, which I think is going to be a big space. This could be a lower dollar stock to take advantage of. Look at that.
You can see the swing
Support,
low here.
Now breaking through resistance possibly.
So yeah, if you're not in this,
I'd wait.
Wait to get above this line.
Yep.
Right?
And have RT go above 1. Where's RT? RT is low, bro.
But it's starting to scoot back up.
Yeah, I'd like to see RT above 1, but if you get into it after it breaks above resistance, that may not be a bad play. It'd be an early play. Mm-hmm. Glenn, PFE started rebound, then today Powell speaking like lift was highs today since Powell spoke in the cell. What time is it? 3:05. No, I was going to think about doing 5 more stocks. I changed my mind.
It's after 3.
It's after 3. Joey's got nothing to do.
Let's go back to the homepage. I want to see how that market's selling off. Is it still continuing?
Two red lights.
Two red lights now.
Let's go back to the graph.
NASDAQ down 696. Whew.
Look at that. Bigger. Let's go intraday, 5-minute bars, current day. Look at that, buddy. Look at that. Go back to the homepage. What were you looking at?
I was just looking at the NASDAQ. We're talking about the tech.
Is it down 4%?
Yeah. Right-click on it. Let's look at the chart.
There's the NASDAQ. Let's go put that on today. Intraday, 5-minute bars. We got more downside, buddies. People, we got a lot more downside. That's today from the open to now. Holy smokes. I'm telling you, the next thing that's going to move this market by far is going to be a deal, and some kind of closure or getting closer to a deal with China. That's going to be the catalyst, because I think that that's first and foremost.
That could be good or bad news. They could be getting further away from a deal. If that news comes out.
Well, we're going to put in a 245% tariff. Now, I don't think that China can withstand that.
So are all the tariffs... China's the only one where the tariffs aren't paused right now, right?
Yeah,
they're
in full effect.
But everyone else got a 90-day pause, right?
I didn't listen to Powell, but what did he say for more? I didn't see anything on my phone about Powell. Nothing about Powell. But I think it spooked the market. I think that what he said spooked the market, and there you go. Glenn, Dr. DeLito would have a stop on Palantir. Yeah, he would, Keith. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yes, he would, Keith. This is my gunslinger days. I made a lot of money on it. I'm slinging.
My gunslinging.
I'm slinging. There's no, and I'm not telling anybody to do what I did when it comes down to Palantir. I'm just being upfront and honest with you with what I did with Palantir. That's all I got to say about that.
Chris says tariffs on Mexico, there are some tariffs in Mexico and Canada that are not paused as well.
I thought they were.
I thought they were too.
I thought they were. All right, we got to go. Hey, remember, folks, we've got Joey's going to play the video again. Stay back to watch the video about our roadshow. It's going to be huge.
Especially with all the turmoil in the markets. I know during the day
you get to pick our brains, folks, live. Live. Ripman, you need to show up. Ripman, I want you to sign up for the VIP.
North Carolina next month.
I need Ripman to come. I want Mark to come. I need both of you to sign up for the VIP. All right? Ripman, you need to come up. Man, he knows how to make an old fashioned. He knows how to get the bartender to make an old. Ripman, you need to show up. You need to show up for the VIP, my friend. I may take a trip down. John, we'd love to have you.
And if you have any questions about the details, the timing of the events, if you want to register, all that information, just go to VectorVest.com/roadshow.
All right, Joey put the link up there. Who's the biggest drinker out of Glenn and Ryan and Joey? Joey. Joey's the biggest
by
drinker.
Far.
Yeah. Yeah, don't lie. Joey's the biggest drinker. No, don't bring your own bottle. We got wine.
We got a sommelier coming.
We got us. It's gonna be good. All right. I didn't sign off because was I here?
Were you here?
I don't know.
I don't know if you're here. You're gone most of the time.
I know. All right. Folks, thank you for being here today. Glenn, which is the best sector now?
Gold. Mining, I guess, would be the sector.
Yeah, pretty much. Michael, that's all we've pretty much been pushing you guys to for the time being.
But right now, utility and then mining goes to the top. So that's telling me defensive playbook. Utility, mining, insurance. That's defensive playbook when it comes to top RT sectors.
Jeff, give our product support staff a call. It's going to tools, application settings, and graphs. That's how I change my colors on the graph, right here.
So the tools, application settings.
And then change it to custom. Change the theme settings to custom, and then you can set up the labels and the watermarks. And that's what I did. All right. Thank you guys for being here today. We love you. Adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. I love me some Hawaii. I need to go back. I need to go back. I need to go back. Always remember, there's always good people in the world. If you can't find one, be one. Odabu, bom dia, salam, shalom, namaste, yasu. Until next time, folks. See ya. Hey, VV Nation, I'm Glenn.
And I'm Ryan. We've got a special event coming next month, May 1st. We're finally hitting the road. Now, we will be hosting some live streams. Tell them a little bit about the live streams we'll be doing.
We're going to have the Stock Analysis Power Hour. Ryan will host that. Bring your stocks. Let Ryan break them down for you. I'll also do a live stream called Trending Thursday. That's where we go through, look at what's going on in the market, what's going on in the news, and we analyze stocks. We also have a live presentation for those people who will be attending live as well. What's that, Ryan?
Now, we do have the presentation titled Unlocking the Secrets of Financial Success. Now, to register for free and get the details, just go to VectorVest.com/roadshow.